Hi everyone, Virginia Kelly here, astrologer and holistic healer, reporting on this week astro highlight that is the new moon in Cancer at 21 degrees 59 minutes, almost 22, on July 14 at 5:44 a.m. Eastern Time. But before that, I want to address the recent Mars-Uranus conjunction on July 4. The day came and went without a bang, thank God, but we're not out of the woods yet as per the degrees of separation between the planets, but at least now is a separating configuration. Now, on my corner of the world, after posting how Mars was triggering Uranus, the Lord of Lightning in Gemini, the sign of the grid, we got a dust devil, two lightning strike two trees, which brought two cables down. We had no service for almost a week, and it destroyed my old greenhouse. But oh well, everyone's safe. It could have been worse, and I got to buy a new one. Anyway, there were a lot of nothing burger events here and there, but nothing that would imply a historical turn of events yet. But the importance of the peak of that cycle coinciding with the US birthday is that it carries the energy of the solar return of the nation up until next July 4. And with Uranus, the unpredictable planet, most of the times you find out after the fact. Now, one thing that happened behind the scene is the shutdown of CERN, which I like to call concern because it was concerning and we're con. But this was hush-hush because most people don't even know about its existence. CERN is the particle collider in Switzerland where they were trying to smash particles to find the God particle. So basically they were trying to recreate the Big Bang, and this was highly controversial and dangerous, and some scientists even report the opening of portals and the summoning of entities. It's unclear what happened there, but the good news is that it's shut down under the pretense of upgrades, but the timing is odd because they're going to resume operations in 2030, and that number keeps coming up if you're familiar with Agenda 2030 and the WF sustainable facade that states that we'll own nothing and be happy. Anyway, moving on to this new moon, the moon is in rulership in its own home sign of Cancer, the sign of the animal that lives at home. So this is all about our emotional and private lives, addressing issues related to where we live or whom we live with, where we feel at home, issues regarding our families and loved ones or whom we feel at home with. New moons are seeding phases of initiations that have a span of 6 months to manifest in real tangible life. But this new moon is conjunct Mercury, and Mercury is retrograde. As I'm recording this, is cazimi on the 12th, which is the Sun and Mercury within 1 degree, where epiphanies illuminate us with clarity, and this extends from the 10th to the 14th when the new moon is. And this year, Mercury is retrograding in all water signs. Retrogrades are about all things RE. Review, reconsider, revisit, reconcile, realize, readdress, repair, redo, and water signs are all about feelings. So this is an emotional year where we get to review the way we relate. And later, by October, it will retrograde in Scorpio, intensifying hidden and conscious skeletons in the closet, along with an afflicted Venus retrograde representing what we love in detriment in Scorpio, the sign of intimacy, trust, jealousy, and power struggles. But more on that in the next months to come. For now, we're concerned about Cancer and the home front. And Mercury happens to be at the midpoint of a square between Venus and Uranus. So it is in a semi-square to both. And square aspects are the 8 harmonics, which are the tension aspects in astrology. And Venus is talking about love, but Uranus is talking about change, sudden change. And this is beautiful because in my work as a therapist, I always see people trying to change others, and I always tell them, try changing yourself and good luck, because it's easier said than done. And in a relationship, we have three entities: the parts and the relationship itself. So since you cannot move the other part, the only part that you can move is yourself, and by doing so, you change the relationship. And this configuration brings that awareness. Where do you have to yield? Where you have to put your foot down? Where do you have to apologize? Where do you have to forgive? And where do you have to let go and let God? And some might say, but this is a new moon, it's about beginnings, not endings. And yes, this is not asking you to pull the plug, but this is asking you to do the work. And new moons are sandwiched between full moons, where are completions. And as one door closes, another opens, and they overlap. And sometimes a new start is the result of a termination. So this new moon invites you to do the work, the shadow work, the therapy, couples therapy, family therapy, meditation, retreats, you name it, whatever works. This new moon is asking you to make a decision for what's next. Now, this new moon is not that affected by other planetary influence except for Mercury Retrograde, but is in a tight square with Vesta and Pallas Athena. And these are asteroids or minor bodies with less influence than planets. Now, Vesta represents the eternal flame, that which you're invested in and what you have passion for. And Pallas Athena is the asteroid of strategy. So you might want to revise your strategy, and in matters of love, sometimes the best strategy is not to have one. Now, Venus is in Virgo. Now, Venus wants to indulge in pleasures of love, but in Virgo is all about service to others. So is at fall, because this is asking that your love language has to manifest in acts of service, because talk is cheap, especially with Mercury retrograde. So say what you mean and mean what you say, and by all means show it by showing up. And Venus is not alone in Virgo. We have the south node of past, karma, and the things we need to move away from, like repeating patterns. And Venus, representing what we love, is in an inconjunction, which is a blind spot, with the other outer planets: Neptune, the planet of the rose-colored glasses, and Pluto, the planet of death, rebirth, and transformation. So first we need to see with clarity in order to change, because we cannot address a problem that we don't recognize in the first place. And this configuration is what we call a finger of God, pointing out to the need for soul searching in matters of love and how we relate to others. Now, Mars and Venus are the cosmic lovers, and they are in a square, so there's trouble in paradise. And the nodes of fate are in a tense aspect with Saturn, the lord of karma, teaching us some hard lessons, but in harmony with Chiron, the wounded planet, gifting us the opportunity to set the record straight. And remember, it was a lesson, not a life sentence. Now, we can love the spotlight with Jupiter in Leo, but in opposition with Pluto in Aquarius, we have to consider how we affect others. And by the end of the month, the nodes will move into this sign too, amplifying this tug of war between self and others. And I like this because this will put the final nail on the coffin on the celebrity culture, because what we're going to celebrate is the collective. And we have that beautiful cradle in the background prompting the collective upgrade. But as always, everything starts at home and then ripples out. This new moon will affect more the second half of the cardinal signs, mainly Cancer, because it's in Cancer. So this is all about you, your persona, your ego, and how you look. And then for Capricorns, this will oppose you, so this will be all about others, especially significant others, both in personal relationships or professional relationships. Now for Aries, this will square you, and it will be in your home and housing, family, and roommate sectors. And for Libra, this will square you as well, but it will be more on your career and reputation and public life. Now this will be easier for the other water signs. For Pisces, this will be in your area of creativity, recreation, and procreation. So from hobbies to lovers to children, and where you enjoy yourself. And for Scorpios, this will be in your area of higher education, foreign travel, belief systems, basically your area of expansion. For Gemini, this will be in your financial sector, so income and self-worth. For Leos, this will be in your rest and recoup area, also mental health, institutions, and spirituality. For Virgos, this will be in your community sectors, friends, acquaintances, networks, and your tribe. For Sagittarius, this will be in your area of routine, health, work, service, and pets. And finally, for Aquarius, this will be in your sector of trust, intimacy, and other people's money, from your spouses to inheritance, loans, and taxes. Check your big three, Sun, Moon, and Rising for a more complete picture, and if you don't know them, I made a free guide to teach you how to cast your chart, and you can find out in the link below. But where I can help you the most is with a private reading or a coaching session. And if you want to study with me, I made a medical astrology certification course that is a two-part course, Foundations of Astrology and the bridge to a healing practice, because for one you need the other, and it's all integrated, but it's all for the cost of one, and now is 10% off for a limited time and no coupon needed. And finally, if you are into sound healing, I made an instructional guide of healing with tuning forks on acupuncture points, and these include the planetary frequencies, which are cosmic octaves of the planets corresponding to the 7 chakras, and is also on sale for a limited time, no coupon needed, and all links are below. These videos take more than a minute to make, so please hit like. It takes a second and it's a small token of appreciation for my work. And if this resonates with you, subscribe for updates. Thank you. See you next week.